Andrew and Marty here, and I'm with
SightseeingSally.
and we're bringing you to, well, this is called the Fox Valley between Appleton and Oshkosh, to one of the strangest stores or the weirdest stores that I've been to in the state of Wisconsin, M Shuttle Sales. Let's go check it out and see what they got. Oh my, what is that? Here you can find anything from a fiberglass deer to what looks like a knockoff for a Sinclair gas station, a pink pig, to whatever that's supposed to be.
She might be a cow that's really proud of her milking abilities, Marty.
From a dinosaur to an extra big moose. Oh my, this guy's got a bird's nest in his mouth. Poor birds. Well, that's a little different. And that's really different. Yeah, looks like deer hunting to me. And we got SightseeingSally hanging out with an alien over here. Get a general look across the store at all the stuff in here. We'll touch on some cool stuff though. Oh, that looks like a massive book end there. But except it's about 3 foot tall. Now, because of all the stuff that's in here, I'm just going to highlight some of the stuff that I think would be cool to me or maybe cool to other people, neat looking. So we'll see what we all can find. Got this guy here in a little boat. Well, actually, feels like a real wooden boat. Wow, look at that real old motor on the back of this thing.
This guy looks like the guy we saw in Boulder City at the museum there. He kind of has the same scraggly beard and vacant look in his eyes.
Do you have a fish hanging from his hat?
No, he did not, because he was a miner, but he could pass for a miner.
Miner as an under 18?
No.
I mean, they got all kinds of stuff in here. I mean, they even got axles for trailers, hardware, windows, doors, extremely large statues. I mean, this statue here with the dragon has got to be about 7 foot tall. And there's more than one building here. They even got a big park outside to look at stuff. Oddity Park. Oh, I think we'll go there first.
Shall we?
Now, some of this stuff here, to me, this looks like an old prospector on a horse. Some of this is almost like museum quality. I mean, they're large and they're really detailed. They're really neat. Neat old Blatt sign. Look at this little tractor that they made. Little yard tractor you could do stuff around in the yard with. Looks like it's got an old hit and miss motor in it. Pretty neat. And this glass building here with the beveled glass in it is really neat. With that old vent on top that you normally see on old factories or old barns. It's filled with old kegs. Old beer kegs inside. And this wine bottle art. That's pretty neat too. Especially when the sun hits it. I don't know if you can see it now, but when the sun hits it, they really light up. This here looks like an old service station sign, like an Amoco from years ago, and then they put like big windows in it. I don't know if that's exactly what it is, but that's what it reminds me of. This is really neat. It's an old looking carriage somebody converted. And they got a couple neat old vehicles in here. A few of them standing around. I'm gonna look at another one. There's one more over here that I see right now. Kind of hiding in the bushes next to this piece of art, which has got a weather vane on the top. I'm assuming that that base, I don't know what it's off of, but that teardrop thing on the top, I believe, is a fuel tank off of an airplane. You got a lot of neat stuff there. That star in the back reminds me of something you'd see on New Year's in New York City, lit up for the drop of the ball or the drop for when the new year comes. This old buckboard wagon. Next to that is my favorite, as I love these old carriages. This here, this must be the tool shed. Because everywhere you look, there's a wrench welded on here or something. Old lathe in there. Oh, a lot of neat stuff. An old drill press, belt driven. Another view, an old hood that you walk under to go look inside. There's another view of that old lathe. An oil can for sew line. Neat stuff. I'm going to give you a view of the whole thing here with this neat old visible gas pump. And some yard art. Now, can you guess what this is made out of? I can guess what the two ends are made out of, but the middle, I'm not sure what that is. Here's another neat old truck. An old Ford from the 20s, I believe, with this little kids' playhouse on the back. Looks like something from a Disney movie. There's SightseeingSally moseying around. Sally, can you come over here and show the people some scale?
Where do you want me to stand?
Now that's one big flamingo. There's quite a bit of statues here. Some of these are really neat. Got some giraffes. This guy's peeking up from behind the tree. Hidden back in the trees over here, we'll go take a look. A couple old steam engines. And you got this here, which reminds me from the movie Scarface. The world is yours. This cart here sits a couple old hit and miss engines. See if we can see what these are. I can't make out the label on the brand. I think that's a Fairbanks Morris. I think I could read Morris on there. This one says Ingersoll Rand. I believe this one's an air compressor. Couple little other yard tractors. Doodle bugs, whatever they call them, for in your yard. And this looks like another air compressor here. Yes, I was right. It does say air compressor on it. Now here, I think we found Mr. Douglas's tractor. I believe his is a Hoyt Clagwell. And this is a McCormick Deering. Okay, Lisa.
Does that mean I'm making Haas cakes tonight for supper?
No. Now, if you wanted some yard art in form of an automobile, they have a couple of them laying around here. This little midget that runs on motorcycle engine. And this one here, who remembers Elio, that clown recently that took all those people for all them thousands of dollars with a car that looks almost identical to this, called Elio Motors. Look it up. I remember these when I was a kid. You don't see these too often anymore. Too much metal and not enough smarts in kids. There you go, Sally, a little mini bike.
Oh yeah. Vroom, vroom.
There's a couple of them here. There's one right behind you, a red one. That's a little Honda QA50. A lot of guys will remember that one. You got a little Shriner's car go-kart. You see them every once in a while online for sale. And behind it, I can't think of the actual brand of these, but they sold these little mini dozers and stuff for like homeowners. So they could pretend, I guess, that they're working big construction equipment. I have no idea. But they were made for the homeowners market. Kind of neat. Give you some scale on this little car. Geez, you even look big next to that thing, and you're only about what, 5'5", 5'6"?
Yeah.
A couple more mini bikes hiding behind the trees. And then there's this. Can you handle her, Sally?
Oh yeah. You gotta check out the skeleton head on
the old skull shifter. Oh yeah. That's right from J.C. Whitney's catalog, 1986.
What's interesting to note is that this is celebrating 50 years officially this year.
1974
is when it all started. And there are actually 2 locations, this being the second location.
I believe the other one's like about 5-10 miles away. It's not very far.
No, and supposedly at the original location there are some really iconic pieces that are way too large to be brought out here. So at some point in the future, Marty, we might have to, or meandering Marty, we may have to go out there.
And check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, let's check the rest of this out. We still got a half a yard and one whole building to go. Oh my. Hey baby. That's a little different. Being from Wisconsin, I've seen a lot of snowmobiles, but I've never seen one like this before in my life. This is kind of something coupe. Sea-Doo coupe, double 2 zeros on it, or 2 O's. I'm gonna have to look this up to see what this is. That's different. Looks like it's got some old Impala taillights in it. I mean, where else could you go and find an old plane to buy to put in your front yard or backyard? If you're ever in the area and you want to see some strange stuff, this is definitely the place to come and check out. And they say this is all for sale, and the stuff that isn't marked, you still could make a deal on. Another look from the side. Take a peek in the door that it's open. That looks like it's got all the gauges yet in the front. And behind the plane is the Cinderella carriage right here. But I don't look like Cinderella. And we have the world's breeziest outhouse. Look at the vent on the top of that outhouse. Now you won't smell a thing when you're in there.
Are you sure about that?
Absolutely. And I think they got James Bond plane here. This looks like one of them little jet planes that I seen in one of the James Bond movies. Now don't quote me on which one, because my memory isn't that good, and I don't remember how many of them I've watched over the years. It also kind of reminds me of that plane that was out in the middle of the desert that me and Sally found that had ties to Walt Disney. Now, a lot of people might not know what this is, but a lot of people like doing ice boating and stuff like that, and I have seen some that have a fan on the back and it pushes them around on the ice. But this would be one here that somebody made out of an old radial engine off of a airplane and made the rest of it. I couldn't imagine how fast this thing would go on the ice. I think it would be scary, but somebody's little ingenuity is a lot of fun. Now there is a lot of cool stuff here, but this woods here would scare any kid to death, because this is kind of creepy to me, I think. All these statues stood in this woods. I mean, it's neat, but it's a little creepy. The old Nash Metropolitan over there. I haven't seen one of them in a few years. They were smart. They put some plywood or whatever, plastic underneath it to keep it from growing up underneath it and rotting it out. And this looks like the nose section to an old 727. See if there's anything inside. She's pretty cleaned out. Still a lot of aluminum left in there though. Now we come up to the other building, we'll see what's inside here. I'm already liking the old bowling sign next to the door. Big piece of fiberglass or plastic or something that's made out of it. That's pretty cool.
That looks like something I could see you buying.
And a couple bowling alleys and setting her up in the garage.
Yep.
No, my. No, that is a full-scale replica, or actually a full-scale version of the BD-5 that was used in a James Bond movie. He must like airplanes, whoever owns this, because you see quite a few airplanes here. Here's an ultralight hanging from the ceiling in beautiful shape. It almost looks brand new, like it was never used. It's just brought in here and then put on display. Dinosaurs to killer whales to stuffed animal heads to sailfish. They got it all. Now, I can't remember if it's in Ohio or Tennessee or something like that, but somewhere they have a grocery store that's full of crazy stuff too, that I've seen once or twice. A video on the internet here. I mean, that's a ceramic vase, or whatever they're made out of, clay. I mean, that's a real vase. I mean, that's crazy. I don't know how they got that here without breaking it. It's huge.
Oh, I want this, Marty.
This must be the Egyptian room.
This is cool.
That is cool. I got all kinds of neat stuff here. I know I keep saying that, but oh my God, there is a lot of really neat stuff here. You gotta come and check this place out. It's M Shuttle Freight Sales.
You might even find something that you want to buy and bring home.
I do. About 10 things already.
That I'm not surprised. Jaws.
Under the sea stuff. Got an old diving helmet. Ship speed thing. I forget what they call these now. My brain isn't working today. Telegraph. That's it. Mermaid. Baby Jaws. And baby Jaws. Oh wow, look at that shark teeth back there. And some more nautical stuff. Oh boy. And the fun part about this is beyond all these statues and stuff back here, they're selling cabinets. And really nice cabinets for in the home. Let's give you a little quick walk down one of these aisles and you can see cabinets and windows, and that particular aisle has cabinets. This particular aisle has smaller windows. And like I said, above them, all these statues. And at the end of the aisle is an old Corvette tailpiece. Some more neat stuff. A whole bunch of propeller cones. I've only seen about 3 or 4 in my life off of an airplane, and here's 6 of them, 7 of them. Some neat old antiques down this aisle. Look at this little printing press here. The old type that you use the letter type on. Oh, that's little compared to my hand. Old toys. I had one of them. It was missing the tracks on it too. On behalf of Meandering Marty and
SightseeingSally, thanks for joining us on this tour inside one of Wisconsin's strangest stores. And I say strange, meaning it
in a good way.
Fun, good way.
This is a place I must see. You must come down and check this out if you're in the area.
Most definitely.
Thank you. Thank you very much.